Well, it's game 2 of the Intercounty Baseball League playoffs, round 1. The Toronto Maple Leafs and Barrie Baycats about 15 minutes away from first pitch here at Dominico Field. I'm Thomas West alongside Zach Benoit. Quick turnaround for this team. I talked to Marcus Knecht before the game. I said, is it a blessing or a curse that you have a quick turnaround after such heartbreak last night? He said it's a blessing. And boy, the Toronto Maple Leafs did have their hearts broken a little bit last night.
Yeah, you know, they played a really good game fully, and then it's just that last moment in the game that kind of really hurt them. And I talked to a couple of the players before. They're still in high spirits. Everyone's still super calm. They're looking forward to this game, and I think they're really hungry after last night's game.
It felt like it was going to be a big turning point in the series. If the Maple Leafs could win the start against Frank Garces, that was not the case. Let's take a look back at how it all went down.
Just about everybody in the league at least once. Off his glove, Hernandez barehands it and can't make the throw.
Than Alvarado is.
3-1 pitch, high ball 4. Boy, Ryan DeSantos' ability to work that strike zone is truly a thing of beauty. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, right center field towards the gap. It carries and it drops for extra bases. In to score is Boscarino. They're going to send home DeSantos. 2-0 Toronto here in the top of the third inning.
4 times. He goes here. Pitch up. Plumpton's throw down to second is not in time. Just getting the foot in on the slide is Dos Santos. The fans are behind Garces. Here's the 3-2. Called strike 3. Castaldo can't believe it. But Garces gets out of a jam. Lefty Alvarado deals. Driven out to left field and deep. And it's going to get off the top of the wall. McGarry Doyle comes in to score. Baycats are on the board with an RBI double by Francisco Hernandez. 3-2 again. Called strike 3. Macabrota can't believe it.
Biggest at bat of the night for Barrie. Bottom of the 7th, 2-on. First pitch, pops it up. On the outfield grass. It'll be the left fielder calling for it, Luca Boscarino. He'll gobble that one up for the third out of the inning. 3-2, called strike 3. Hernandez knew it. Right back to the dugout, and some brilliant pitching by Luis Florentino to get a 3-up, 3-down 8. Kicks, delivers, runner goes. Outside, the throw down, the tag. Not in time. A stolen base for Dennis Debanning. Pakala to Mara. Shallow fly ball, center field, McGarry Doyle has it. Braden Pakala fired up as he comes off the mound. Swing and a miss, Macabrota lunging at that, couldn't connect, one away. One out in the 9th, pitch from Florentino on the way. On the ground, into left field for a base hit. 0-2, pitch to Hull. Drives it to right center field. It drops for a base hit. Around second is Clark. He goes to third. The Baycats have runners on the corners. Oh, ready, delivers. Ball 4, the bases are loaded. Here's the pitch from Florentino. High fly ball, center field. Debanning to his left. Makes the catch, runner tags. This game is tied! Tristan Clark crosses home plate. We are tied at 2. Here's the pitch from Florentino. Inside, it goes to the backstop, and back on it is Mara. The throw, misses Florentino. Here comes Hall. The throw, he scores! Baycats win it on a wild walk-off here at Athletic Culture Stadium. Oh my!
And that's how it all went down last night, Zach. Not how the Toronto Maple Leafs wanted to end that game. There were definitely lots of positives, though, to start things off. I mean, Heightens Alvarado, we were wondering if that really good version of Alvarado was going to show up. It did. Frank Garces on the other side was really great. It was a great pitching duel last night.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. If you're a fan of pitching, you were a fan of the game one between the Barrie Baycats and the Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, first and foremost, Frank Garces, what a game he had, right? Going 8 innings with those 15 strikeouts. But Heightens Alvarado, a lot of the talk was on Garces, but you can't forget what he did. 6 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, no walks. He was just so in command of his stuff all night long. It was impressive to watch.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the pitching plans for both of these teams going forward as well. We saw Josh Berenbaum come into the game. We're expecting that he's going to start a little later on in the series. Johannes Alvarado just under 100 pitches in that inning as well. On the other side, Frank Garces threw 133. The Toronto Maple Leafs were in the dugout wondering when he was going to come out of the game. It was unbelievable to watch, but it really does prove that the Barrie Baycats, they don't want to get too deep into their bullpen, although only having to use one reliever last night, huge. Before the game, I talked to Rob Butler about Johannes Alvarado and the upcoming game today. I'm joined now by Rob Butler from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Rob, I know there was just so much emotions coming after last night. As a coach, what's your message to the team after last night, and what's the locker room like right now?
Well, I think the locker room is fine. The guys have, some of these guys have been here before, and when you come and play baseball, you got to realize anything can happen, and the hardest inning to win is the 9th inning. So, and they realize that, and we did everything we could to set ourselves up for the win. But Barrie found a way to, squeak one out there at the end. But you know what? I think our boys are really confident. I really feel like they, we know we got good pitching. We know coming into this, our hitters are going to come alive. So, I think the boys feel great.
I know you were kind of calling for a little bit more from Johannes Alvarado towards the back half of the year. Finished really strong in the regular season, and he looked great last night. What can you kind of say about what he did last night?
I think he's not trying too hard. I think he tends to overthrow and tries to do too much. Wants to win the game before he wins it. So it's basically back to basics of just trying to make sure he stays on a straight line. He throws across his body a little bit when he gets in trouble. And his ball moves so much, he doesn't need to worry about trying to locate. Just let the ball go where it wants to go. And he's starting to come back to his old self. Especially at the end. And yesterday was a total dominating game. He was almost unhittable. It was fantastic to watch him do what he's capable of doing.
I know you guys need to score a little bit more this game, but John Javier did come up with a big double. I know maybe he slowed down production-wise a little bit towards the back half of the year, but did you have any doubt that he would come up and get a big hit for you guys in the playoffs?
Oh, no, he's been our most solid all-around guy the whole year, pretty much. Him and Jordan have really carried our team. So I think sometimes with him, he's young and he gets out of his approach and he tries to do too much. And, he wants to be Superfly Snuka and make the fans go crazy and, try to come out of his skis and out of his shoes a little too much. So I think, he simplified things last night and had good approaches. He was staying on the ball a lot better. And with a guy like Garces, that's what you have to do. You got to really keep your nose on the ball and not try to do too much and just kind of peck away at him. I think that's the best approach to have against a guy like that. And same with the guy tonight. We're not trying to, one guy's not trying to win the game. We all got to win the game. So hopefully everybody just stays in their lane and contributes and, we come away with a win.
Franklin Hernandez on the bump for you guys tonight. How many innings kind of thing do you hope to get from him, and what do you expect to see from him tonight?
Well, it's all really feel for how he's doing, and the pitch counts kind of go out the door a little bit. You kind of just go by fatigue and seeing how their velo is doing. They're locating still, and like yesterday, Willie could have gone one more inning, but we had so much depth in our bullpen. There was no sense we got bringing some fresh guys. So that's the good thing about our team. We got a lot of fresh guys who are ready. So our starters just need to get us to the 6th inning, and then the rest of the guys can take over, and we can make it a full team effort with our pitching staff.
All right, Rob. Thank you. Good luck tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Fair to say, Zach, that was Johannes Alvarado's best start of the season?
Yeah, and he looked like vintage Johannes Alvarado the first year he had. I mean, again, like I mentioned, 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, 4 hits, and only 1 run allowed. It was just sensational work. What a pitching matchup it was last night. I mean, those two really went back and forth the entire night. Partner, I feel like tonight, though, we're going to have another one just like that. It's going to be a fantastic pitching duel. You see it right there, Franklin Hernandez and Juan Benitez.
Yeah, should be great. I mean, Hernandez, he's got good, powerful stuff, fastball slider. Juan Benitez, a bit of the same. I was talking to Justin Marr a little bit. He says, he doesn't mind hitting against Juan Benitez. The Toronto Maple Leafs are ready for that slider. It's a pitch that he likes to throw a lot. If it's sharp, he's going to be absolutely dominant against the Maple Leafs. If it's not and it's kind of hanging over the middle of the strike zone, that's where he's going to run into some issues. And on the side of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Zach, I mean, they need Franklin Hernandez to go deep into this ballgame. Not a guy that's traditionally gone 100 pitches before. Man, they need at least 5 or 6 from him today.
Yeah, they need him to go a little bit deeper. And the ERA on the season, the 4.90, I don't really think it just dictates how good he's actually been this year. you know, it was one outing that really kind of blew it up, but the 22 innings pitched, he's been really, really good. The strikeout to walk total has been elite. 30 strikeouts, only 11 walks. He's a strike thrower. When you're facing him in the box, you're going to see strikes. And, you know, his stuff has always been if he can tunnel his pitches, hide his pitches. He does a really good job tunneling that off speed with his fastball. So it's going to be really interesting to see how he goes against this Barrie Baycats lineup.
Yeah, which is led off by Noel McGarry-Doyle, Brandon Hernandez, and Francisco Hernandez. Those two brothers were great last night. Nolan Macabroda in the DH spot, then Tristan Clark, who's playing left field. Noah Hull at first base, Clayton Keys in right. Tyler Plumpton is doing the catching. He had that big sac fly to end up tying the ball game. And then Adam Odd, the former Toronto Maple Leafs, he's playing third base. Should be a good one here today. Before the game, I also caught up with Marcus Knecht to get his thoughts. All right, joined now by Marcus Knecht from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Marcus, just a thought on last night. I know it's a little bit of a heartbreaker for you guys, but it's a quick turnaround today. Is that kind of a blessing or a curse for you guys?
No, it's definitely a blessing. You know, tough game yesterday. We battled, both teams battled, and you know, somebody had to lose. Unfortunately, it was us, but I mean, 24 hours later, here we are, and we're ready to go. Boys are fired up.
Marcus, I know you're one of the kind of veteran leaders in that locker room. You know, I've heard that there's not really much that needs to be said to these guys, but you know, is there anything that's said after a game like that, or maybe just a message for the next game?
You know, just heads up, hearts up, and again, we have a game the next night, so I mean, it's a blessing, like we said, and everybody's ready to go. And yeah, these guys, we know what to do. We know we got to come out with the sticks, and we trust in our pitcher and we trust in our staff to get the job done. So you know, that's just baseball, and we're ready to play.
Marcus, I know you're coming back from an injury kind of mid-season. It's been a while now since the injury and since you've got recovered. How are you feeling now at the plate?
Yeah, feeling good. I feeling focused and ready to go. And yeah, it took about a month for that oblique to get back to normal, but you know, I came back a little bit early and eased my way into 100%, but we're pretty close now, and yeah, I'm feeling good.
All right, Marcus, thanks for doing this.
Cheers.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Go, let's go! Happy birthday, Ray!
Well, Zach, Marcus Knecht was the best hitter on the Toronto Maple Leafs this season, led the team in average, and you'd have to think that he might be a difference maker today.
Yeah, he's been really good all season long, and I said it all year long. The scary part was that he missed about a month and a half, maybe 2 months with an injury. His numbers could have been skyrocketing. He was so good this year when he was on the field, and that's what the Maple Leafs are going to need here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you heard in the interview there as well, he said he's feeling good. He kind of didn't really miss a beat after he came back from the oblique injury. That's a great sign for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They need his power. They think that they can out-hit the Barrie Baycats tonight. Franklin Hernandez will have to shut them down. They need some innings from him today.
Yeah, it's going to be really big to see Franklin Hernandez on the mound here for the Maple Leafs. Going to be interesting to see what he can bring to the table. I mentioned what you need to see out of Hernandez is his continued work with that tunneling of his fastball and his off speed. When he's in the zone, when he's working, when he's looking good, hitters are not picking up that off speed out of his hand.
Yeah, Franklin Hernandez, if you look at his last 2 outings, numbers probably could have been better. This is going to need to be a little bit of a bounce back here for Franklin Hernandez. They know he can be good. He was so good for them in the playoffs a couple of years ago, and this is a chance for him to get back to that form in the playoffs once again. But most importantly, throw strikes. He's got to be pounding the strike zone, because if the Barrie Baycats are getting into a lot of full counts and he gets over the 100 pitch mark, don't think he's going to be able to go much further than that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, obviously, how long he does go. But again, the vibe of this team right now, it looks like they're calm. They understand last night happened and it's out of their control now, but they came to the ballpark. Nobody's worried. Everyone's here is ready to play. Everyone here understands that they still have a good team. They can still come here and compete. And really, as the quote-unquote underdogs, they brought the fight to Barrie in Game 1.
Noel McGarry-Doyle is going to lead things off for the Barrie Baycats. He was great last night, had a couple of hits. Boy, there weren't a lot of players that had hits in the game last night. Noel McGarry-Doyle had a couple. And he'll look to stay hot here in the playoffs. This is a game the Toronto Maple Leafs need to win if they want to stay in the series. Here's the first pitch from Hernandez. Swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch, and Gary Doyle out in front.
I don't mind that start there. You go with the changeup away. Smart pitch out of Hernandez to start this outing.
Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Went right back to the well with it.
And well, McGarry Doyle hadn't played in the playoffs with the Barrie Baycats until last night. So he's had a great start to his playoff career with Barrie. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Hernandez. Ball hit on the ground. Diving stop by Spencer Ross. Gets up, throws to first. What a play. And that's how the ball game starts here in Toronto. Spencer Ross, who has been fantastic all season long after taking the reins at shortstop, makes another sparkling play.
Yeah, that's glorious to see, especially as a pitcher. You like to see your defense help you with the first batter of the ball game. Spencer Ross lays it all out on the line. And not to mention that throw, a bullet over there to first.
Now Brandon Hernandez. He took the first pitch just outside. It's plays like that can inject some life into your team. The 1-0. This one's hit in the air, high, deep right field. Knecht going back, and it's off the top of the wall. Marcus Knecht has to chase this one into shallow right field. As he picks it up, it's a double with 1 out for Brendan Hernandez.
Yeah, it looked like a pitch that Franklin Hernandez that is, kind of left it over the middle, and Brandon Hernandez was just able to get the bat out in front, and luckily for the Maple Leafs there, the wind not really playing a factor here. There was none right there. It was just all carry. Hits off the top of that wall, and Marcus Knecht is able to get it back in and hold him at a double.
Yeah, Brandon with the double. Now his brother Franklin at the plate.
Hernandez on second. Hernandez on the mound. Hernandez at the plate.
And this one's ripped up the middle. Here comes Brandon to the dish. He will score, and it's 1-0 Barrie Baycats.
Yeah, they wasted no time there. First pitch swinging right there was Francisco Hernandez, and just a line drive right back up the middle.
Well, Francisco Hernandez has now cashed in his second RBI of this playoffs, and in a game last night where runs were very hard to come by until the bottom of the 9th. See how big that one looms here early in this ball game. 1 out, runner on first. Here's the power hitting Nolan Macabrota. First pitch up high.
So far to start both games, it's been the away squad jumping on the board first. Leafs did it back in Game 1, and the Baycats do it now here.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Macabrota takes inside, delayed steal, and Francisco has swiped a bag. Well, Francisco Hernandez is feeling good right now. Stole a base last night, had 2 hits. He's already got 3 of those hits in the series, including driving in 2 big runs. Tack a double on the board for him so far in his first 2 games as well. Here's the 2-0. Macabrota fouls it off. Good pitch by Franklin to come in the zone there. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Macabrota takes inside 3-1. And the power-hitting lefty who hit .323 with 4 bombs in the regular season finds himself in a hitter's count. Drove in 37 runs in the regular season as well. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and he fouls it off. Boy, it felt like Nolan Macabrota saw a pitch he liked there.
Yeah, it looks like he's seeing the ball pretty well so far to the hand of Hernandez. It's just he hasn't been able to pull anything. Everything's been away. It's more so just getting the bat head out there and just kind of waiting on your pitch.
This is a big pitch here from Franklin Hernandez, the 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Oh, he located that one perfectly, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, it looked like the changeup right there where it just got him biting. And his success is really going to come with that changeup tonight. It's if he can have it working with his fastball, these hitters are not going to know what's coming at him. And we've seen it work a couple of times already, but you just can't let it hang up in the zone.
Still a runner in scoring position. Tristan Clark at the dish now. Clark takes a strike.
And, man, Tristan Clark, what a year he's had against the Maple Leafs. I mean, not even just last night. He's been really a thorn in the side of the Leafs all year long.
2 home runs against the Maple Leafs this season. Now he fouls this pitch off, and it's 0-2. Led the team with 9 home runs. The only player since Jordan Castaldo did it in his Triple Crown season to have double-digit home runs, except for Ryan Rio, who did it a couple years ago. Or 9 home runs, I should say. The 0-2 pitch. On the ground, foul. Barrie, not the easiest park to hit balls out in. Tristan Clark has 2 versus Toronto. One of them was here at Christie Pitts, the other in Barrie. Also finished the regular season hot. He finished on a 5-game hit streak. He was 1 for 4 last night. The 0-2 to Clark. Lifted into the outfield, shallow fly ball. Boscarino comes in and makes the catch on the run. And that will end the inning. The Baycats score once. Hernandez with the RBI single to drive in his brother. And it's 1-0 Barrie Baycats. Now back here at Dominico Field, taking a look at the lineup for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Ryan Dos Santos, who kept on walking in the playoffs, did it twice last night. He's going to lead things off for the Maple Leafs, followed by John Javier, who cashed in the 2 big runs for Toronto on an RBI double, and then Jordan Castaldo, the former Baycat, hitting 3rd. Marcus Knecht in the cleanup spot, playing right field. Batting 5th is Justin Mara. Batting 6th, Dennis DeBanning. In the 7th spot, Spencer Ross. Dan Mara is batting 8th, and then Luca Boscarino, who got on base as well and scored a run last night. He came in on that John Javier double. He's going to round out the order in the 9th spot for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, there was a part of the year where this entire lineup, they were finally fully healthy. Everybody was back, and you saw the power come through. We saw Dennis DeBanning hitting the ball hard, Jordan Castaldo, Marcus Knecht, Justin Morrow was beginning to get on a little bit of a hot streak, and then you had guys like Javier and Dos Santos who were just getting on base.
Ryan Dos Santos takes strike one. Talked to Ryan Dos Santos a couple weeks ago. He said, you know, he's always looking for a fastball early in the count. Might not get a lot of them from Juan Benitez. Loves to throw that good slider he's got in his arsenal. The 1-1. Benitez just misses outside, 2-1.
It's funny because, you know, he always says, I've been in the league a couple of years now. Pitchers are finally starting to understand, and nobody wants to throw me fastballs. And he's like, I hate it. Nobody gives me fastballs.
The 2-1 pitch, just inside, 3-1. Santos takes high. Boy, there was a little hesitation even by Ryan Dos Santos there. That was a close pitch. And he will draw his third walk of the series in his 5th plate appearance, and he's on first.
What's the postseason walk record there, partner?
Yeah, 46. Set the all-time record in the Intercounty Baseball League this year. Broke the record that was held by Bill Bykowski back in 1988. Had 46 walks, beat it by 2. Only needed 44 to tie it. And he's picked off right where he left off. Javier pops this pitch in the air. Foul out of play.
And this is an interesting, you know, matchup here for me. Juan Benitez, a guy that just loves to attack hitters. Javier, a guy that loves to jump early in counts. And you saw it right there. Benitez went right after it, but Javier fouls it off.
The 0-1. Strike on the other half.
That's that lethal slider.
Dos Santos also had 15 stolen bases in the regular season. The only one that, I mean, no one else had more than 5. Second place was Dennis DeBanning. He stole a base last night. He's the guy to watch out for. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Not a lot of stolen bases at all in this series. Barrie didn't have many guys that stole bases. Toronto didn't have many guys that stole bases. But if there was one guy that was going to do it, it'd be Ryan Dos Santos standing on first base. 1-2 now on John Javier. And a check over on Dos Santos. He dives back in safely. Boy, he's got that amount of lead that he can take really calculated there at first base. Just able to dive back in with that sliding mitt. The 1-2. Line drive into the outfield. This one finds a gap. It's going to roll towards the wall. John Javier will put the brakes on. Dos Santos heads to third base. And the Maple Leafs off to a promising start here in the bottom of the first inning. And John Javier stays hot. That's a single.
That's just a really good piece of hitting by Javier. Again, it was a slider on the outside half that Javier just kind of stayed with. And when you stay with it, you can see off the bat it has that natural tail into right field. Just does a really good job, and it's really good at-bat by Javier.
Yeah, almost identical to the double he had last night. The double, he got a little bit more of it, got it over the outfielders' heads. This one a little bit more of a line drive that didn't roll very far on this thick Christie Pitts grass out there in the outfield. Now it's Jordan Castaldo. First pitch up and away. Castaldo, who led the Maple Leafs in RBIs in the regular season. Had a booming 8 RBI game in his final of the regular season. So he takes a strike there. Here's the 1-1. Check swing, Castaldo goes around. Tried to hold up, could not.
Yeah, he had him crossed up right there. Big move where he was, you know, thinking high fastball, but again, there's just so much tight spin on that slider where it'll come at you looking like a fastball. Last second have that dip. And that's why Juan Benitez is so good.
The 1-2. On the ground to second. This could be a double play. It is, but it will cash in a run for the Maple Leafs, and we are tied at 1.
And obviously Castaldo, the ball player that he is, he's going to be upset there just because, he wants to get on base. He wants to continue the momentum of the inning. But you get that tying run in, you're back to square one, where it's a 0-0 game. Nothing to worry about.
Not the worst scenario there for the Maple Leafs. They would have loved to, have Marcus Knecht take this at bat with a runner on base, maybe in scoring position, just because of Jordan Castaldo's stature in the Intercounty Baseball League. He would have wanted to do more there, but the big thing is that the Maple Leafs tied things up, and we got a brand new ball game again here in the first.
That's the thing. If you're able to answer back, that's a lot better than just, not having anything on the board. You don't want to go down in the first and then have Benitez go out and have a dominant inning, because then you're thinking, oh, we're on our back foot a little bit here.
This one's popped up by Knecht. And the catch is made in foul territory. Noah Hull over there playing first base today for the Barrie Baycats, and that'll do it for the first inning. Both teams strike once. We're tied at Christie Pitts after 1. Back here at Dominico Field, Noah Hull, who made the catch to end the inning, will lead things off here in the top of the second. First pitch from Franklin Hernandez at the knees for strike 1.
Lethal looking changeup out of the hand of Hernandez right there. Quickly 0-2.
This one's lined into the outfield for a base hit. Noah Hull will lead things off. He was down 0-2, but still found a way to get on base. Good start here in the second inning for the Baycats.
Yeah, really shortened up his swing and poked it the other way. It looked like it was a high fastball. Hernandez was trying to sneak by him. But like I said, shortened up that path and did a really good job just to get bat to ball.
Now a line drive to first base, and that is a double play.
Might be the easiest double play Jordan Castaldo has ever turned. one step to his left, grabs it, and just steps right on first base.
That is unfortunate luck for the Barrie Baycats. And now Tyler Plumpton comes up with nobody on. And, you know, we highlighted the importance of Franklin Hernandez going deep into this ball game. That'll really help plays like that.
You know, two outs on one pitch. That's
sure.
Great.
All of a sudden, he's only throwing 4 pitches in the inning, and he's got 2 away. Smartly, Tyler Plumpton takes the first pitch. That's strike 1.
And if you're sitting at home and you see the backdrop behind home plate as the hill, and you think, that hill's a lot bigger than I thought it is. Yeah, it is. It's a really big hill over here at Dominico Field.
Yeah, that's not even half of it.
I know.
And then there's us.
I know. Yeah. You see the gentleman in that red chair there? Yeah, he's about...
Yeah, not even halfway.
not even halfway up towards us. A little far up the hill we are.
There's the 0-2. Check swing, foul ball by Plumpton. Goes off the facing of the Barrie Baycat dugout. Another 0-2 count.
There's something interesting part. You know, Hernandez, we talked about him being a strike thrower, and, you know, he's always in the zone. 8 straight strikes, including last inning to end the inning.
The 0-2. On the ground, foul at third base. About a foot away from being in fair territory.
Again, it just kind of looks like the hitters just don't fully know what they're doing. It's a lot of protecting swings right now early against Hernandez.
The 0-2. And he got him. The first base umpire confirms 10 strikes. Hernandez out of the inning. A little double play help at first base from Jordan Castaldo, and then he does it himself on the last guy. 1-1 Barrie Baycats and Toronto Maple Leafs as we head to the bottom of the second.
To be the best, you've got to bring performance from every second. The game is getting faster every season. So Rawlings made a time machine to help you keep up. Introducing the all-new Velo ACP. It's light, it's balanced, so you can pick your pitch and drive the ball with maximum exit velocity. The game's gotten faster. Your bat has too.
All right, back here at Dominico Field, Justin Mara leading things off for the Maple Leafs, facing Juan Benitez. A 10-pitch inning, all strikes from Franklin Hernandez to get out of the top half of the second. Now Juan Benitez will try to follow suit.
A lot of these power hitters for the Maple Leafs are probably happy to see a righty on the mound instead of the dominating lefty in Garces last night. 15 strikeouts. I mean, that's still ridiculous numbers.
The Maple Leafs were thinking maybe they were going to see Cesar Rosado today. Not the case. It's the all-star for the Baycats, Juan Benitez. Here's the 1-0. He's had much better numbers than Rosado this season, but I was actually talking to Justin Mara before the game. He didn't really seem to have much of a preference between Rosado or Benitez. He's faced so many lefties over his career that's not really a big problem for him.
Yeah, when you're in a lineup of just all lefties, you're going to see them quite often. And in the IBL, and that's what it was for the last couple of years. This year, a lot of more diversity with the righties coming in now. We see DeBanning on deck. It's helped balance out this lineup really well.
Here's the 2-1. Crushed. High, deep right field, and foul. Foul by a tight but decent enough margin to confidently call that one a foul ball.
I mean, he got every piece of that.
Although
every stitch.
I mean, where the ball landed certainly didn't flatter whether or not that ball crossed over the foul pole. And maybe it was a little closer than we thought. This pitch is inside because Brian Sewell is talking to the umpire, and he's actually pleading his case right now.
He's probably saying, it's not where it lands, it's where it crosses over.
That might have been what he was saying to the umpire at first base. So that might have been a bit closer than it appeared. 3-2 pitch. Oh, he's going to have to settle for a single as he slashes it into the outfield. Justin Mara, couple good swings, and he's got himself on first base.
Obviously not what Mara was hoping for after what he did a couple pitches ago, but he'll still take that single.
Big smile on his face as he said something to the umpire at first base there as well.
He said, "Are you sure? Are you sure it was a foul ball?"
Now it's Dennis DeBanning. Takes low, ball 1. Dos Santos led things off with a walk. That results in a run for the Maple Leafs back in the first. Now a single by Justin Mara to lead off the second. DeBanning takes on the dirt. Great block there by Tyler Plumpton.
Yeah, Plumpton really kind of just saved 90 feet right there.
Yeah.
Wicked, wicked slider.
Everyone, including the coaching staff in Barrie, loves Tyler Plumpton. Here he's a guy who's got a good work ethic, and he just does it all. Gives you a good at-bat, plays good defense, calls a good game behind home plate as well. 3-0 now on DeBanning. Pitches in there, first strike, 3-1. Now it's full. Three-two. Nobody out here in the second. Mara goes, swing and a miss, strike 3, and Justin Mara swipes the bag. And now, oh no, Mara thought it was ball 4, and now he's tagged out. Or, I don't know what Justin Mara.
He thought it was a foul ball.
Oh, he thought it was a foul ball, so he was heading back to first base. And I don't know if he might have been deked out. I think, I'm almost wondering if Brandon or Francisco may have told Justin Mara to go back to first base that it was a foul ball. And that's 2 outs, and now there's nobody on base for the Maple Leafs. That's pure speculation, by the way. I just saw Brandon Hernandez pointing at first.
I was going to say, just a great jump by Mara. I mean, he took off before Benitez even lifted his leg.
Well, that is an unfortunate turn of events for the Maple Leafs, and now umpire at home plate is just yelled, "That's enough," at the Toronto Maple Leafs dugout. Might have been Justin Mara who was talking from the dugout. The 0-1 now on Spencer Ross. 1-1. Ross made a terrific play to start the ball game at shortstop. It was an all-out dive and a great throw to first to start the ball game. Now he bloops one in the air. This one's down the right field line, and it is foul despite a great diving play or effort by Keys, but he was well short of the ball.
So we looked back at the YouTube replay of it, partner, and it looks like, I believe Brandon Hernandez turns around to Justin. Not sure if he says anything, but he immediately turns around, faces Justin Mara, and then he looks at Juan Benitez and motions with his hand. Hey, throw to second. Obviously, again, pure speculation. Don't know if anything was said, but that was kind of the play that happened.
So you're thinking that Justin was deked at?
It might have been. He might have. Justin Mara is a very smart base runner. We've seen it multiple times.
One and two now on Spencer Ross. I was just going to say, Keys made that all-out dive. That it might have hurt a little bit. It might have knocked the wind out of himself a little bit, so we had a little bit of a delay. And now Ross flares one off to the right again. Another 1-2 to Ross. And he hits one on the ground to second. Hernandez to first, and that will end the inning for the Toronto Maple Leafs. It looked like they had a promising start and a runner in scoring position, but Justin Mara throwing out on the base path. It ended up being a strike him out, throw him out double play when it was all said and done. And we are tied at 1 after 2. So Adam Odd, the third baseman and number 9 hitter, is going to start things off here in the top of the third inning. Facing Franklin Hernandez. Here's his first pitch. Big swing and a miss. Way out in front of the off speed from Hernandez.
And this is where kind of things get interesting for me watching the game. You know, we saw the home plate umpire already issue a warning over, we assume it was to Justin Mara. Now he has to go back there and catch.
Might be a bit awkward.
You have to wonder what what his plan of attack is for Mara's. You know, do I go back there, just be silent, not say anything? Do I go back there and say, apologies, you know, didn't mean to step out of line?
I would guess neither. The 1-1 on the ground. Ross gobbles it up, throws to first, just in time. One away.
Yeah, you set it off the first play of the ball game, but Spencer Ross, what a job he's done at shortstop. And there again, it's just another one. He goes over the bag, he looks up, and he realizes, oh, I got to go a little bit quicker here. So he speeds up his motion, and he fires over another good throw.
Yeah, when the Toronto Maple Leafs lost Rando Moreno early in the season, they thought, you know, how are we going to fill that hole at at shortstop. And Spencer Ross, who was really the first guy that they tried over there at short, has really taken over the role well. And to be honest, like at the very beginning of when Spencer Ross took over at shortstop, I think there was a bit of pressure because he kind of knew he was battling for his job at short. Didn't make as many plays, but then once he knew that he was the guy, and when the Maple Leafs needed him to step up, was fantastic the rest of the season. Gives your pitcher a lot of confidence too when he knows that ground balls to short are going to be outs.
And there was a point in the season where all the Maple Leafs infielders were just taking extra ground balls during batting practice. And really that kind of paid dividends into the infield defense. And we saw it throughout times in the season. It wasn't the best. And I think the players would admit that too, that it wasn't the best performance on the infield that they would give. But it slowly got better and better.
The 1-2 to McGarry Doyle. Up and in, 2-2. Zach, the first guys at the field today were Adam and Dan Mara, as well as Justin. They were all taking ground balls. Adam was hitting them. Dan and Justin were fielding them. Here's the 2-2. I knew Justin was catching today, so I thought he was just kind of, coming out to hang out with his brothers, and he was kind of stretching, so I was trying to strike up a conversation with him. He's like, hey, Tom, I got to go take some ground balls just in case he has to come in and play first base. Here's the 2-2. Just outside. It was 0-2. McGarry Doyle has worked it back to full. Pitch from Hernandez. And he gets a foul ball there from McGarry Doyle as he just got a piece of it.
Got to remember last time up, McGarry Doyle had that line drive up the middle where he got absolutely robbed by Spencer Ross. And right here, he's putting up another really good at-bat.
Yeah, it was no cheap shot. He hit that ball hard. It was a two-hopper to Ross, who made the diving play. Another full count pitch. On the ground to first this time. Castaldo has it. Sprints to first. 2 away. Now it's Brandon Hernandez who comes to the dish with nobody on and 2 out here in the third. Brandon takes way inside ball 1. Brandon in 2024 played with the Trois Rivières in the Frontier League. Before that, spent some time playing between rookie and A-ball in the St. Louis Cardinals system. A 1-0 pitch. Just outside.
Hernandez squared right now.
Yeah, that was wild in the first inning, when
it was really hard to call.
A Hernandez in scoring position who came in to score, Hernandez with the hit and Hernandez with the pitch.
I'm not going to lie, my brain took a couple of seconds to fire off who was who.
The 1-2. Outside 3-1.
I didn't want to just say Hernandez hits in Hernandez off of Hernandez because that would have just been confusing.
You kind of have to, though. Brandon got his first hit of the series back in the first. (3-1). Low ball 4. He draws the walk. And we got a 2-out base runner here for the Baycats in the top of the third.
Francisco Hernandez had the line drive single that cashed in his brother back in the first. That was the lone run for the Barrie.
Had a double last night, which cashed in a run for the Baycats as well. This pitch is inside to Francisco. Brandon Hernandez on first base. Had 4 stolen bases in the regular season. The 1-0 pitch. Popped up, straight up. Justin Mara in his tracks makes the catch, and that will end the inning. A dangerous hitter retired for the Maple Leafs. Franklin Hernandez gets through 3. It's the Baycats and Leafs tied at 1. Well, in a series where runs have been tough to come by so far, we've got another tight ball game, 1-1. Bottom of the 3rd inning here, Barrie Baycats and Toronto Maple Leafs. This is game 2 of the IBL playoffs, round 1. This is the 2 versus 7 matchup in the Intercounty Baseball League. 8 teams make the playoffs. There's the 1-0 pitch to Dan Mara. And there for a strike. The Barrie Baycats lead this series 1-0. Walked it off in dramatic fashion last night against Toronto. The 1-1. That game was in Barrie. Toronto here tonight. And we alternate every game in this first round series. It's a best of 5. There's the 1-2 to Dan Mara. Upstairs, count now 2-2.
This is the part of the order that can be so dangerous for the side of the Maple Leafs just because of how patient they are, how good of an eye every single one of these players have.
Swinging a foul tip into the glove of Tyler Plumpton. That's a rare strikeout for Dan Mara. And that is the first out of the inning. So was that the new walk-up song for Luca Boscarino?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we changed his walk-up song today. He came in, he says, "Hey, Thomas, give me that walk-up song that Nathan Lucas has."
That's Nathan Lucas's walk-up song. I recognize that music anywhere.
Yo, 2-pitch fouled off by Boscarino. It's like, I gotta have it.
My favorite part about that song is they did an interview with Bo Bichette, and he says, what's your favorite walk-up song on the team? And he goes, it's really controversial in the clubhouse because some people really love it, but some people really hate it. It's Nathan Lucas's walk-up song.
Yeah.
And I'm in the favor that love it. I like it. It has a good little vibe to it.
Yeah, it's called I Got Love. That's the song.
I'm trying to remember who it's by.
Something Dog or something.
If it's who I think it was the same person that Danny Jansen used as his walk-up song.
Really?
I think
Nate Dogg. Hey, that's good. Half a point for me. Here's the 1-2. High chopper on the ground. Hernandez has it. Long throw. He's got a cannon, and he's got Boscarino for out number 2.
You talk about a cannon. Well, that's what that was. I mean, he stepped on his back foot and then just unleashed a bullet across the diamond.
That's been the thing that stands out to me the most. Brandon Hernandez at shortstop. Just his arm is ridiculous from short. Like, yeah, that's the hardest ball I see throwing all year.
And the crazy part is, it's every throw. He doesn't take it off at all. Every play he makes, it's 100% effort coming on the throw.
The 0-1 line drive, base hit for Ryan Dos Santos. He's aboard with 2 outs in the 3rd.
Well, second at bat, second time reaching base, and that's what you want to see out of your leadoff man, especially with the hot hitting John Javier right behind him.
Javier, who seems to have a knack for finding gaps.
Fun little stat that was shown to me by our graphics guy / stats guy, Gus Cousins. Juan Benitez was 5th most hits allowed in the regular season.
Yeah, didn't have the same shutdown year that he had last season when Barrie Baycats won it all in the IBL. Him and Cesar Rosado kind of had down years, but that's what the playoffs were for. A great time to kind of turn things around and erase anything that happened in the regular season. Throw to first, Dos Santos slides back in. Oh, 0-1 on John Javier. Pitch low, Dos Santos trying to swipe second, and he is safe.
Not the typical slide we've seen out of Dos Santos. That time went in feet first, got his leg under the tag, but he's a guy we've seen go head first a bunch as well, and I think he's executed a swim move a couple times.
Second stolen base of the series for Ryan Dos Santos. That's big. He's in scoring position for Javier, who already has a single this game. Now Juan Benitez wants to re-rack the signs. They got to mix them up now that there's a runner at second base. Javier, hard ground ball to third. That one sneaks through. Dos Santos getting the wave home, and it gets by the left fielder, Tristan Clark, and the Maple Leafs take the lead. It's 2-1.
And that's how big that stolen base is right there. John Javier, anything to the outfield. Dos Santos was going to score from second. But you get that stolen base there, get that extra 90 feet. With his speed, he's going to be going around third, no problem. Rob Butler understood it, gave him the wave right off the bat. Really good job base running for the Maple Leafs right there. And then John Javier coming in clutch once again.
Yeah, Rob Butler at third base was already giving Dos Santos the wave home before that ball was misplayed in the outfield by Tristan Clark. He would have scored easily. That one was far enough to left that Clark had to go a long way just to get to the ball. They had John Javier played the other way a little bit.
And you talked about, the grass and how thick it is. It's been really on display here. John Javier has used it to his advantage twice.
Castaldo takes inside. But also that little bobble in the outfield that allows Javier to get the extra base. Now the Maple Leafs have the same scenario. A great hitter at the plate and Javier with good speed. Maybe not quite as fast as Ryan Dos Santos, but definitely up there. He'll score on a single from Jordan Castaldo. The 2-0 pitch. And he takes a strike. They're in scoring position for the Leafs. The 2-1 to Castaldo. Fouled off. Oh, he got a pitch on the inner half there. Tried to turn on it and just missed it.
Again, usually when you see it, I've mentioned to you before, when you see that ball kind of go straight back off of a batter's bat, it means they're on it. They're just under it. And right there, that's a prime example. Like Jordan Castaldo, he was on that ball. He was just a bit underneath it with the barrel.
Big pitch here for Benitez. Castaldo flares one towards the outfield. This one's down for a base hit. John Javier is going to come around to score. The Toronto Maple Leafs put together some two-out magic and now lead 3-1.
Just back-to-back really good at-bats. And the thing I like right there most about Castaldo is you mentioned it. He tried to attack that inside pitch, the one right before, high and outside. He slows up the swing and just bloops it over to left field. That is just such a veteran approach at the plate.
Yeah, the approach changed, right? When he was ahead in the count, 2-1, he tried to pull that baseball and leave the yard. Missed his pitch, so then when he got to 2-2, just shortened up and flared it the other way. That works out just the same. Cashes in a run for the Leafs.
That's just smart baseball and really team-oriented baseball right there. It's just, you know, you sold out for the one pitch. You tried to get it. You didn't get it. You had to move forward with it. But then right there, you shorten up. You bloop it out. You know that the player on second has enough speed to get home, and it was just a really, really good route.
0-1 on Marcus Knecht. Looking for his first hit of the series. Knecht hits it on the ground. Big hop into the outfield. That was a Christie bounce if I've ever seen one. Went 15 feet in the air over the head of Brandon Hernandez. And another two-out hit for the Leafs as they keep the line rolling in the third.
Marcus Knecht has the biggest smile on his face over there at first base because he understands that is a Christie hop if you've ever seen one.
If he didn't hit it that hard, it wouldn't have bounced that high in the air. But nevertheless, without that hop, Brandon Hernandez would have had a routine play. It'll go down as a single. And there's 2 on for the Leafs here. Still in the third. Now it's Justin Mara. And what a swing Justin Mara put on a baseball in his first at-bat. It went just foul, so he put together another good swing and lined one into the outfield for a base hit. That first one, though, was foul by a couple feet maybe. Would have been a home run. He straightened it out just a bit. Now he hits one sharply on the ground, off the glove of Francisco Hernandez, but he's still able to stay with it and flip it over to his brother at second base. That's a great play to get the Maple Leafs out of the inning. That was a very hard hit ball by Justin Mara, but they do cash in a couple runs. Big smile on the face you can see there of Marcus Knecht as he knows he got himself a fortunate base hit, but most importantly, knows that the Toronto Maple Leafs have taken a 3-1 lead at home. Back here at Dominico Field, love this quote from Jordan Castaldo. Talked to him a little while ago. He said it's a matter of sticking with it. Baseball's a crazy game. You can't sit here and dwell on things that didn't go your way. Otherwise, The rest of the game is going to catch up to you pretty quickly. This was kind of in reference to just the way the regular season went for the Toronto Maple Leafs. You know, they had a game against Brantford that they ended up losing, and then they came back and, you know, didn't get the prettiest win of all time, but got a win in a meaningful game in the final game of the regular season at home. And, like, there's no one more level-headed than Jordan Castaldo. His leadership in the locker room definitely speaks a lot to that quote that he had. And, you know, for the Toronto Maple Leafs, that's what this playoffs is all about. They didn't finish as high as they wanted in the regular season, but, you know, like Jordan Castaldo said there, if you know, sit and reminisce about all the things that didn't go your way, the game catches up to you quickly.
Well, man, I think it's a perfect example of what happened there in Game 1. You know, a team could have just gotten defeated after what happened, that final play. They've come out here and they performed really well to start this game. You know, Franklin Hernandez gives up a run in the first inning. Again, with what happened last night, that first inning, they could have easily folded over. This could be a blowout game for Barrie right now, but Toronto are gritting their teeth and they are fighting.
Yeah, kind of when I was chatting with a couple players before the game just to kind of test the water to see what the mood was, because, you know, it was definitely possible I came back and no one wanted to, you know, say anything like, just, you know, get this game over with. But, you know, everyone, a lot of cool, calm, collected heads. It's a cool, calm, collected play there from Franklin Hernandez as he throws out Matt Cabrota for the first out.
You got to remember, this is also still a really veteran-heavy team. You know, they've gotten a little bit younger with some guys, but these are a lot of players that have been here for a while. And, you know, even some of the young guys, Ryan Dos Santos, for example, is another one of those players. He's been here for a while. It might not be a veteran, but he understands this is a team that has been together for a few seasons now. They're a strong unit. They understand sometimes the regular season doesn't go their way, and they've performed in the playoffs over the years.
Tristan Clark at the dish now. Checks his swing at the first pitch. It's low, ball one. You know, if the Maple Leafs came into this game and they were kind of hanging their head about the way the game finished last night, that definitely would have been understandable. But, you know, they moved on quite quickly after this good start to the ball game. You know, I also talked to Marcus Knecht. You would have heard it in the pregame show. I said, is it a blessing or a curse to have a game the very next day, quick turnaround after, you know, that kind of devastating Game 1 loss? He said, it is a blessing. We want to get back out there and take another crack at this thing. The 1-1 hit on the ground, foul towards third base. 1-2 on Tristan Clark.
And I think the other thing you have to kind of remember is this is a second seed versus 7th seed team, right? You know, this is supposed to be a first round where Barrie is supposed to demonstrate they're the better team. They had a really strong regular season. They're the reigning champions. And this is a Maple Leaf squad that, you know, they scuffled a little bit down the stretch. They didn't play their best baseball. They understood that. But they've been putting the fight to Barrie. And I think that says a lot about the character of this team and really, you know, the grit that these guys have on the field.
Here's the 2-2 to Clark. Swing and a miss, strike three. Second out of the inning. Great start to this game for Franklin Hernandez. Through 3 2/3 now. Just giving up the 1 earned run. Now it's Noah Hull, the first baseman. He bloops this one towards third. Dos Santos comes in, makes the catch. Boy, Franklin Hernandez is pounding the strike zone right now, throwing nearly 75 of his pitches in the zone for strikes, and it is working out. He has been dominant so far in this ball game. Through 4 for the Barrie Baycats. It's 3-1 Maple Leafs. Back here at Dominico Field, Maple Leafs 3, Barrie Baycats 1. Bottom of the 4th inning, and Dennis DeBanning leading things off for the Leafs.
Where's Dennis? He's back in his city.
Grounds this one to third base, and Dennis DeBanning is gonna reach to lead off the 4th. That may go down. No, it didn't. It goes down as an error on the third baseman, Adam Odd. He was going to have to make a really tough play there. He was coming in, kind of got that ball on the short hop. Would have had to throw that one on the run across his body. And Dennis DeBanning, who's another one of the speedsters on this Maple Leafs team, was scooting down the first baseline. Now it's Spencer Ross. He's been known to work the count really well at the dish.
I love rock and roll.
You want to try and rip the lyrics off again, or you still don't know it?
Put another dime in the jukebox, baby. It's only taken 2 months, but I've got it.
Yeah.
I've got it.
That's 2 in a row for you.
Hey, man, I'm going to be battling in the zone here.
1-0 on Spencer Ross. And he hits this one on the ground off the glove of Benitez. Still could be a double play. Throw to first in time. Boy, a lot happening there. Tipped off the glove of Juan Benitez. Francisco Hernandez was able to stay with it. Threw it to Brandon, who had plenty of time with that great arm at shortstop to throw out Spencer Ross. Meanwhile, Juan Benitez settling in a little bit here for the Baycats. Maple Leafs rallied with 2 outs. Dos Santos base hit, and he stole second, then RBI singles from John Javier, and Jordan Castaldo cashed in 2, all with 2 outs for the Maple Leafs back in the 3rd.
Hey, partner, I think I have a new idea for a camera we should do. Really cool shot over Bernie Arbor right there.
Can't really show the viewers, but
Yeah, it's on the Chatham Kent Chatham Kent stream.
that's insane. They've got like a blimp out there in Chatham Kent.
Hamilton.
Oh, in Hamilton,
Yeah.
the 1-2. Broken back ground ball. This one tips off the glove of Benitez again. Hernandez stays with it again and makes the play. Francisco Hernandez, a couple of sharp plays at second base. Quick inning for Juan Benitez. Good bounce back for the Barrie Baycats, and now they'll try and put one on the board in the top of the 5th. Welcome back to Christie Pitts. Thomas West here alongside Zach Benoit. It's a 3-1 lead for the Maple Leafs here in the top of the 5th inning. Keys set to lead things off, the left fielder, or the right fielder for Barrie. Clayton Keys was 0 for 3 with a walk last night, 0 for 1 today, and now he's got his first base hit of the series as he slashes one into the outfield.
Yeah, and the bat dies a hero.
Definitely sounded like he broke that bat. Just going to say that's a nice hit for Clayton Keys. He was 0 for 3, did have the walk, but he struck out 3 times yesterday. Now he's 1 for 2. It'll be a good feeling to get his first knock of the series. It's at a big spot here in the 5th inning. Barrie Baycats still trying to answer the 2 that the Maple Leafs put up in the 3rd to take the lead. As the first pitch is low to Plumpton. And this is a really good guy to have a productive at-bat. Tyler Plumpton is known as one of the better guys at moving runners over. Just doing a job at the plate, not necessarily hitting for power, but we saw that last night where he had the sac fly that ended up tying the ball game. Now he hits one on the ground and into the outfield for a base hit. That'll do for the Baycats. Wasn't a hard hit ball, but it's good all the same for Barrie, and now there's 2 on with nobody out here in the 5th.
Yeah, it was one of those plays where he just chopped it into the ground. Dos Santos playing even with the bag and just goes right over his head.
Maybe a little bit of redemption for that single that Marcus Knecht had an inning ago where he ripped it off the turf and hopped into the outfield.
And I like this out of Mara. He goes to the mound, gives his pitcher a breather, but he also just talks the game plan over with the infield. Because these players understand this is a big point in the game. You're up 3-1, no outs and 2 on, and it's the number 9 hitter coming up to bat. So you got to really attack him here.
And this is the crazy thing. Hernandez, Franklin on the mound is 54 pitches into this outing here in the 5th. If he can get a ground ball here or just get out of this inning efficiently as he has in each of the first 4 that he's played, boy, that pitch count is looking real good. But for the Barrie Baycats, they see this is their opportunity to turn the tide just on the amount of pitches and how efficient Hernandez has been this game.
Yeah, I got to watch it here on the corners as well because Adam Odd, he could definitely drop a bunt down here.
Pitch upstairs. Mara looks the runner back at second base. Clayton Keys is the runner at second. Tyler Plumpton at first. After Adam Odd, the top of the order comes up for the Baycats. The 1-0. Sky high pop up. Dan Mara goes back at second base, makes the catch. That's the first out of the inning. Boy, Franklin Hernandez continues to pound the strike zone, and it's working out. He's got a lot of weak contact for this Baycats team so far.
But this is where it gets interesting. Facing the top of the order in Noel McGarry Doyle and then Brandon Hernandez right behind him. 2 guys that have had the number of him. They've hit the ball hard so far tonight. So this should be interesting here. This is a big moment in the ball game.
Yeah, McGarry Doyle, though, officially 0 for 2. First pitch from Hernandez. Gary Doyle, high chopper to second. Dan Mara has it, throws to first in time. Great play, and here comes the run home, and the ball gets away from Justin Mara. It's a 3-2 ball game as Clayton Keys, with a heads-up play, is able to take an extra base and bring Barrie within 1.
Yeah, that was I don't know if you'd say smart or risky play. I think I'd lean more towards the risky side because if that throw was on target, Keys is completely gunned out there. It looks like he just wasn't sure where the ball was, and he tried to steal it, maybe catch the Maple Leafs sleeping. And granted, it worked out for the side of Barrie this time, but that is a very risky play.
Yeah, he was going to be out by a lot. A throw anywhere close to on target there from Jordan Castaldo would have had him at the plate. Now Castaldo will get another ball here at first. He steps on the bag, and that will end the inning. The Barrie Baycats tack on a little extra run in the 5th inning and now trail by just 1 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. You love that new walk-up song.
I do. I like it a lot. It's just one you just kind of head bob to it, you vibe out to it.
Yeah, Nathan Lucas got it right when he picked that song. It's great. This is Luca Boscarino leading off the inning and pops it up behind home plate and onto the hillside, fortunately for the Maple Leafs. Another life here for Boscarino, but he's down 0-2. Luca Boscarino was 1 for 3 yesterday. And now he hits a ball high in the air to left. And it is gone! Luca Boscarino with a solo shot, and he puts the Maple Leafs back up by 2.
Hey, you get a new walk-up song, you get some added power, and Boscarino absolutely demolishes a ball over that left field wall.
Yeah, that walk-up song might be here to stay. That was a moonshot
You
out
can
to
see
left
Dennis
field.
DeBanning with the do-rag on it.
Yeah, he's picked up that from Dennis DeBanning as well.
No, DeBanning, as Boscarino was coming, was doing this. That's great.
Yeah, the Toronto Maple Leafs had some team awards today, and Dennis DeBanning got the Trendsetter Award because he started wearing the do-rag and he put everyone else on the do-rag as well. He's got people, he's got Marcus Knecht with the cornrows. Even Luca Boscarino had the do-rag on today.
Gets a new walk-up song of Nate Dogg.
Yeah.
Wearing the do-rag. Vibes must be good down there in that dugout.
DeBanning was all over the new walk-up songs today too. He had a big part in all of the new ones you hear today. Pitch just misses to Dos Santos, and he's ahead in the count 2-1. We've kind of been waiting for the power of Luca Boscarino to come around. He's a guy who has showed some signs of power in the past with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you know, a guy that his coach Rob Butler just loves as well. You know, loves what he brings to the dish, and you know, there'll be no one happier than him to see Boscarino put one over the fence in a big spot here for the Leafs. 3-1. Upstairs, Ryan Dos Santos to first base. He's got 4 walks in the first 2 games.
I don't know what to say anymore about it, because the best part is he's going up there not looking for walks. He wants to hit the ball. You know, his thing is he always wants to go up there and just put a good bat on the ball. But here it's just he's like, I don't get it. People aren't throwing to me anymore. It's like death taxes and a walk by Dos Santos.
Mm-hmm. Yep. First pitch to Javier. He stays disciplined and takes outside.
This was the same part of the order last time up. That really did a lot of the damage earlier in the ballgame for the Maple Leafs. And again, they're doing it here.
Javier takes a strike. He's had another great day at the plate. He's 2 for 2. And 500 to start off his playoffs.
First ever IBL playoffs for Mr. Javier.
And his rookie year. Still just 22 years old, John Javier.
He's a special player.
1-1. And it's a check on Dos Santos, who's already stolen a base today. I talked to Rob Butler about John Javier earlier in the season, and he used, kind of 3 phrases to describe John Javier. He said scrappy, fun to watch, and a big heart. And then he would go on to, be one of the batting average leaders on the Toronto Maple Leafs. This was before Rob Butler had even seen much of Javier. He'd only played a couple games, and those are the words he used to describe him, and I think that's been so fitting for John Javier's season. Just gets it done at the plate. The 2-2. Javier fouls it off.
And it's just so interesting to watch him play because, again, at the start of the year, he was a guy that came in and just wanted to hit the ball hard. He wanted to come in, make an impact that way. But now it's putting up at-bats, making pitchers work against him. We saw him have his first career 3-walk day earlier in the season towards the end of the year. And it's just truly impressive to watch him kind of mature as a player, mature as a hitter.
Here's the 2-2. Javier lines it into the outfield. He's 3 for 3. Dos Santos up to second base, and now he's trying for third. A bit of a bobble in the outfield. He's in there. Noel McGarry-Doyle kind of had that hard hit line drive eat him up a little bit. And once again, Ryan Dos Santos takes the extra base.
Another really good hit by Javier, straight back up the dish. And yeah, that just heads up base running right there. And if you're the Maple Leafs, that's how you got to play. You got to be aggressive on the base pass. If they're going to give you a free 90 feet, you got to take it. And now they've put all the pressure right back onto Barrie here. Barrie got the 1 run last half inning. They're thinking maybe they're going to start mounting a comeback. Well, now the Leafs, there you have something cooking.
So mound visit here to talk to Juan Benitez. John Javier looked like he was going to lead the Intercounty Baseball League in batting average. Had a little bit of a slow end of the season. The batting average dropped into the mid-300s. Still an overall great body of work. He DH'd a lot in the latter half of the year, and like he is here tonight. And he said, he had a little bit of trouble kind of staying focused and staying locked in those games that he was DHing. Because he said, sometimes he goes over 20 minutes where he doesn't even have to really do much. He's just sitting on the bench. But, Zach, these high adrenaline games are really helpful for DHs, and especially, young scrappy guys like Rob Butler said, and John Javier, who just always wants to, get his hands on any part of the game he can.
I think the big thing is he wants to play. He wants to be on that field with his team, and there was a quote that you had about it is, he just wants to catch. He wants to be there playing more. And I think that when you have a player that's that hungry and wants to be on the field, doesn't matter if it's catching, third base, outfield, that shows a lot of character in a player.
Yeah, all of those positions he's played this year for the Maple Leafs. So can Jordan Castaldo come up in a big spot again? He's been an absolute RBI machine over the last couple weeks. Here's the 0-1. Castaldo pops it foul off to the left. And an interesting arm warming up in the bullpen for the Barrie Baycats, the former Maple Leaf who started the season with Toronto, Chris Nagorski. 0-2 on Jordan Castaldo. Looks at every at-bat as a battle between batter and pitcher. It's Benitez who's ahead in this battle right now, and Castaldo fouls it off, and he is battling at home plate. He's fouled off a couple tough pitches from Juan Benitez.
That was very reminiscent of, the last at-bat Castaldo had where, Benitez went inside, Castaldo fouled it back, and then he tries to go outside. Castaldo shortens up his swing, and he pokes it to the other side.
Outside, ball 1. The 1-2. Castaldo takes just inside. Talked to Jordan Castaldo the other day. He said, his swing's been feeling good, and he's just happy to be in his approach and getting his A swing off, and most importantly, swinging at the pitches that he wants to swing at. Here's the 2-2. Castaldo hits this one in the air to left, and this one is caught on a diving catch by Noel McGarry-Doyle. Oh, what a play. Dos Santos comes in to score on the sac fly. It's 5-2, but that was a brilliant play in the outfield by McGarry-Doyle.
Hey, sometimes you just got to tip your cap, and that right there is what you have to do for Noel McGarry-Doyle. I mean, laying it all out on the line. RBI does come across for Jordan Castaldo, but that could have been really bad news for the Barrie Baycats if he didn't make that play.
Absolutely. Would have been nobody out in the inning, a mess on the base paths. Probably a double there for Castaldo. That ball looked like it was going to be in the gap all the way. Good on Dos Santos to go and tag up anyway and come in to score, and Castaldo has another RBI. Give him 2 tonight. Hard hit ground ball to third, picked by Adamad. Goes to second for 1, back to first. Double play. Oh, a hot shot to Adamad, turned beautifully by Francisco Hernandez, and that will end the inning. But another successful one for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They answer the Barrie Baycats, 1 in the top half of the 5th with 2 in the bottom half, and lead by 3 here at Dominico Field. We'll see you in the 6th. Well, Jordan Castaldo looked like he had a double. He'll have to settle for the RBI sac fly, but what a season it was for Castaldo. Started off hot, was very cold in the middle half of the season, and then right at the perfect time when you want Jordan Castaldo to heat up, right when the playoffs start, he's hot again.
I mean, he's just a consummate professional. If there was the Hall of Fame, he'd be a first ballot IBL Hall of Famer. Would not be surprised to see number 5 someday be on that right field wall beside Spal Jarek's 36, but he has just done everything that the Maple Leafs could ask for. He had a sensational end to his season here, and I mean, day in and day out, he's just always going to give you good at-bats, he's going to give you good defense, and he's always going to be a leader in that clubhouse.
Yeah, ended up leading the Intercounty Baseball League in home runs this year, which, I don't know about you, that felt like it kind of came out of nowhere for me. It looked like Robert Mullins started out really well, looked like he was going to run away with the home run lead, and he kind of left the door wide open. And Jordan Castaldo, who was still a couple running steps from going through that door, made those running steps and hit 12 home runs on the season to lead the league. This pitch is inside, and it hits Francisco Hernandez right in the backside. That's how the 6th inning will start. Francisco Hernandez definitely felt a little bit of anger when he got hit in the backside there by that pitch. Kind of looked back at the Toronto Maple Leafs dugout, but that would.
I mean, you got to think about the game. You know, that definitely isn't intentional. You just extended the lead. Your team just got you a lead back after you gave up a run. Why would you intentionally hit somebody to start off an inning when it's still only a 3-run ball game?
Yeah, and that's why I think he kind of just started making his way down to first base. This is not a moment where the Maple Leafs want to be digging into this territory. Nolan Macabrota takes way outside, ball 1. Couple arm side misses to start the inning here from Franklin Hernandez. Check at first base. Diving back in just in time, Francisco Hernandez. Nolan Macabrota at the dish here. He's 0 for 2 with a punch out. The 1-0. Hernandez goes, throw down, and it skips into the outfield. And now DeBanning will pick this one up, throw to third, and that one goes off the fence as well. When it's all said and done, it'll go down as a stolen base, an error, and Francisco Hernandez makes his way to third base with nobody out.
He hesitated for a second at second base where he saw the ball in the outfield and he thought, do I have enough time to go? And then he said, you know, I do, and he just took off for third. It would have been a close play if the throw was on, but a little bit tailed. DeBanning, not expecting Hernandez to kind of take off there. It was a little delayed of a move.
Well, the Maple Leafs kicked the ball around a little bit to start off this 6th inning, and now Franklin Hernandez is going to have to work out of quite a jam here. The runner on third and nobody out, and misses arm side again. 3-0 now on Nolan Macabrota. Got to get back in the strike zone here. 3-0 swinging on the ground. This will cash in a run. Macabrota thrown out at first base, and it's a 5-3 ball game as that's an RBI ground out for Nolan Macabrota.
Yeah, it looked like Toronto was okay, you know, giving up out for a run there. Everyone kind of just playing back, and, you know, Hernandez, you're able to just kind of shake things off. The bases are clear again. You have one out now. You can kind of just attack the lower half of this lineup.
That was a very good outcome for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Franklin was kind of struggling to find the strike zone, and Nolan Macabrota swung at what looked like a borderline pitch and grounded out. Yes, it cashes in a run, but this looked like it was the start of a big inning for the Barrie Baycats. Now a little bit more harmless as Clark comes to the plate with nobody on.
I mean, all in all, I think Hernandez has had a terrific outing so far tonight. Obviously, there's still a lot of ball game left to go.
The sentiment before the game was at least 5 from Franklin Hernandez.
He's given you that and some.
Yes, he has. And he's at 65 pitches right now. That is a pretty good number. Well within his range still. The 1-1. Just missed.
That's the right pitch right there. You just had Clark swinging at an outside fastball. You try to bury a slider there, and you can see Justin Morrow when the ball was thrown. He's nodding his head saying that's what you want to do.
The 2-1. Hard hit, but foul down the third base line. Here's the 2-2. That one just misses. Boy, Franklin Hernandez wanted that pitch. So did Justin Mara as he hesitates before throwing the ball back to his pitcher. Franklin Hernandez, longest outing of the season was 6 innings against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers and ended up throwing 85 pitches over that stretch. Do not believe he has touched the 100 pitch mark yet in the IBL. Ground ball foul towards the third base side again.
And correct me if I'm wrong, partner, but a couple seasons ago when Hernandez was pitching for the Leafs, he crossed over that threshold a couple times. But again, it's just been a couple seasons.
The 100 pitch threshold?
Yes. Was that in the playoffs he did that for the Leafs a couple of years ago?
No, so, you know, back in that 2022 run, he was coming in as like a 2-inning reliever. So he was definitely getting the pitch count up a little bit, but just not in a starting role. As Clark continues to rip balls foul down the third baseline. This is kind of the first year that Maple Leafs are trying him out as a starter, and it's because they kind of had a bit of a hole in their starting rotation. And you know, Franklin Hernandez said he wanted to start, and he stepped up, and look at this. He's starting Game 2 of the playoffs for the Maple Leafs.
I think it also goes into his preparation, right? We talk about through the season the running up the hill that he does on his off days, the routine he goes through in the outfield.
3-2, inside, ball 4. Tristan Clark heads down to first base. Some long at-bats here for the Barrie Baycats here in the 6th, and they're starting to up the pitch count of Franklin Hernandez.
We can possibly see some stirring going on over there in the bullpen now.
Noah Hull, 1 for 2 tonight.
Tristan Clark continues to just be a little bit of a menace for the Maple Leafs.
The former University of New Orleans Division I player in the NCAA, Tristan Clark. He's the 1-0 on Noah Hull, who hit .254 in the regular season over 34 games. Franklin checks on the runner at first again. Noah Hull played last night against the Maple Leafs, went 1 for 3. The 1-0. Fouled off. Three runs on 5 hits for the Baycats so far tonight, trying to add on here in the 6th. Hull fouls it back again, and he's got 2 strikes on him now.
This is going to be a big moment here in this ball game. Hernandez, you know, the control has kind of gone away from him a little bit here, but this is a big at bat because you don't want to have 2 on.
The 1-2 to Hull. He fists it towards short. Ross there to make the catch. 2 outs. That was a great pitch there from Franklin Hernandez. Got right in on the hands. Ended up being a weak pop out to shortstop.
Yeah, you can see him really in and out that ball, and what that means is basically, just like you said, it was in on the hands, and he tried to power it out as best as he could, but he just got jammed underneath it, and it's just an easy pop fly for Spencer Ross.
Well, the bottom of the Baycats order with Hull, Keys, and Plumpton, who are right in the thick of those 3 batters right now, have 3 of the 5 hits for the Baycats today. That was one thing that, you know, the Toronto Maple Leafs think a facet of, you know, their game in this series, that they can outplay the Baycats, is hitting from the bottom of their order. Tonight the Baycats' bottom has looked pretty good. 0-2 now on Keys as he was unable to check his swing on that low breaking ball from Hernandez. No 2 pitch. You can see a bit of a deep breath taken there by Franklin Hernandez, knowing the importance of this pitch in this ball game. A 2-run lead for the Leafs. The 0-2. Got him on the outside corner, strike 3. Boy, Franklin Hernandez had to bear down and make a perfect pitch, and oh boy, he did. And at home plate, a little bit of a commotion as well, as Clayton Keys was fired up after disagreeing with the home plate umpire on that call. Josh Matlow had to come out and make sure that Keys didn't get tossed from the ball game. I'm actually surprised that he didn't. Well, how about we take a quick break? Back in a couple moments. New pitcher into the game for the Barrie Baycats is the former Toronto Maple Leaf in Chris Nagorski as he enters into relief of Juan Benitez. First batter he'll face is Justin Mara.
So early in the ballgame, partner, there was a little bit of a shout out for somebody on the field. We've been trying to figure out who it was for like 2-3 innings.
Yeah.
It was Toronto Maple Leaf hockey player Max Domi.
Who's that?
He doesn't play for the baseball team. Not a baseball player.
Justin Mara destroys this ball deep to right, and it's gone. Mara, a solo home run off his former teammate Chris Nagorski, and it's 6-3.
That stayed fair. Stayed between the lines. Mara, what a swing. He has been swinging the bat so well for the last couple of weeks. He had a good one earlier in this game, and that time is just a moonshot over the right field wall.
Boy, Justin Mara earlier in the season faced his former teammate Chris Nagorski, and he was kind of poking fun at him, saying, you know, I'm just waiting for that slider. I know you're going to throw me that slider, Chris. And he just missed a home run earlier in the season. And, you know, whatever pitch that was from Chris Nagorski, he was absolutely sitting on it. And that's a big swing for the Leafs.
And now I'm curious, with a meeting like this, was there possibly a mix-up of signs where Nagorski kind of hung one and his catcher was expecting, say, maybe a fastball, of why there's a meeting going on right here? Obviously, we don't know, but one can speculate.
Yeah, it was almost like, you know, Justin Mara has been catching Chris Nagorski for years. It felt like he knew exactly what was coming, and, you know, obviously he has with Nagorski's time here with the Maple Leafs. DeBanning fouls this pitch off. That was a long home run from Justin Mara.
He hit it and pointed right back to the bench, too. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah. He's a bit fired up today as well. He had a little bit of extra gusto behind that swing. You know, I talked to Justin, and he said, you know, there's a very good chance that this is the last season we're going to see all three of the Mara brothers in the Intercounty Baseball League. But he said, you know, the one thing that keeps him coming back, or maybe two things, is, you know, getting to play with this group of guys. But the big overarching thing he said was that when he puts a swing on a baseball and hits it like that, it keeps him coming back. That's why he keeps playing the game, because it feels so good.
I think that swing might have him back again for another year.
Right. So that's what I said. I said, if you hit a couple more of those home runs, are you coming back for another year guaranteed? And he said, no, I'm not giving you that.
He was PR trained.
Yeah. There's the 1-2. You know, there's a lot of Maple Leafs players that are kind of coming to the end of their career, and you know, I always like, well, what if you don't win the championship this year? And then it's always like, well, you know, we'll see.
See what happens.
Let's just see what happens.
Yeah. Let's go out there and have fun. Let's see what happens.
2-2 to DeBanning. Swing and a miss, strike three. Nagorski gets a punch out for out number one. Nice bounce back at bat there from Chris Nagorski after giving up the solo home run to lead off the inning, and now this is Spencer Ross. Ross spent time playing baseball just down the street with the University of Toronto Varsity Blues. Also played with the Kitchener Panthers last season. This year hit .257 for the Maple Leafs, but walked 27 times this season. Ross takes low and in. Two and 0 the count now. Chris Nagorski is having trouble seeing the signs, so Tyler Plumpton goes over and puts some chalk on his fingers to try and brighten things up.
Yeah, and that was the second time we've seen him do it. He did it after the mound visit as well. And it could just be, you know, he's just not putting them down far enough where you can see. If you're trying to hide the signs, obviously, makes it a little bit more difficult.
The 2-0. Outside. You know, I've kind of been keeping my eye on Spencer Ross to see if he's trying to look back and kind of sneak up. That's not the case. His eyes are fixed on Chris Nagorski throughout this at-bat. 3-0. Fans chanting walk, and they'll get one. Spencer Ross heads down to first base with one out here in the sixth. Dan Mara, who's the 8 hitter today for the Maple Leafs. And he hits a ball to left. He struck it pretty well, and that one's gonna go. Dan Mara, who had 2 home runs in the regular season, has crushed a ball to left in the playoffs. It's 8-3 Toronto.
It's Maraception here in the bottom half of the sixth. Justin goes, yah, first. Dan goes, yah, next. Wow.
Boy, the Toronto Maple Leafs have exploded for 2 home runs here in the 6th. They now lead by 5. And, you know, it felt like the story of this series was going to be, can the Toronto Maple Leafs win on the road? They were so good in the regular season on the road. You know, had a winning record on the road. Were not very good at home. That was a big point of contention in the regular season. They lose the first game to Frank Garces and the Baycats in Barrie. And then they're here at home, and they're winning this ball game by 5. And, you know, the Maple Leafs have really liked playing on the road. So, you know, a win here today feels like it's a big swing for the Maple Leafs in this series. 0-2 to Boscarino. He's got a home run today. The 1-2. Low and in. Every time Dan Mara hits a ball over the wall, it just feels like the product of such good fundamentals at the plate when he hits it out. It kind of makes you think, why doesn't he do that more often? The 2-2. High chopper, and it eats up Francisco Hernandez.
You know who loves all this offense more than anybody else? Franklin Hernandez sitting in the dugout. He has been pitching his behind off all night long, and he's loving the offensive support right now.
Mound visit here to try and settle down Chris Nagorski to try and get out of this 6th inning. Well, Chris Nagorski has had some really good outings for the Barrie Baycats this season. I mean, if you look back to his last outing against the Hamilton Cardinals, went 2 2/3, had to, you know, get through some innings to qualify to be in the playoffs here for the Barrie Baycats, and was brilliant. Didn't give up an earned run over that stretch. This is a big return for Chris Nagorski back to the Barrie Baycats, a team where he won 5 straight championships with Barrie. There's the 0-1. But the Maple Leafs, who know Chris Nagorski so well, have found a way to get to him each of the last 2 times they faced him. The 0-2. Up and away. The 1-2. Low.
Are we going to see it for a 3rd time?
Still got a little bit of work to do.
Oh, I missed the count. I thought it was full.
Just wait. A 2-2 from Nagorski. Runner goes. It's low. Full count. Throw down. Not in time.
It's a great jump by Boscarino.
Luca Boscarino with the stolen base. He's in scoring position for Dos Santos, who's singled in this game.
This is a perfect song to play for Boscarino taking that bag.
Full count to Ryan Dos Santos with a runner in scoring position. And he's walked. Ryan Dos Santos is 1 for 1 with a trio of walks today.
His elbow guard has to be getting dirty for the amount of times he's thrown it back in the dirt.
Josh Matlow out to the mound, and is this the end of the outing for Chris Nagorski? Well, he hands the ball over, and that's it. Looks like Brad Grieveson is coming into this game here with just 1 out in the 6th. John Javier chops the first pitch from Brad Grieveson on the ground foul. Well, that was a timely mound visit. I'm out of breath.
I was gonna say, do you want me to take over here? Get some water in you?
Yeah. Oh.
I don't know if you people at home noticed, but one of the cameras we have that's pointing towards the pitcher, you just saw a little glimpse of the shoulder and elbow of Mr. Thomas West going down the hill.
Yeah, I was changing the batteries.
Yeah.
Whew.
Believe it or not, I think the battery died.
Yeah, thanks.
Of course, man.
The 0-1 upstairs, and a double steal for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Boscarino to third, Dos Santos to second. That's the perfect duo to do it with on the base path. Two of the fastest guys on Toronto.
Get some water in you. Doing a lot of talking right now.
Two in scoring position for the Leafs now. Javier, line drive up the middle. He's 4 for 4. He's driven in one. Here's the throw to the plate. Not in time. Javier will advance to second base. He is on fire. And the Leafs lead 10-3.
It's been so fun to watch John Javier mature as a hitter. He continues to do it every single game, and what a job done right there for number 77. Rips it right back up the middle for 2 RBIs.
He's just been smashing the ball the other way, pulling it, hitting it up the middle. Just takes whatever the pitcher gives him and hits it hard. Four for 4 with 3 RBIs. Now Jordan Castaldo. Low in the dirt. Javier will scamper back to second base.
He thought about it. He took 2 steps over to third, said, I'm just going to go back.
they're gonna walk Jordan Castaldo here. So he gets hit by the pitch, and now it's Marcus Knecht. Knecht takes a strike. Yeah, looks like it just hit Castaldo right on the top of the foot. Didn't initially look like he got hit by the pitch, but the 0-1 just outside. Brad Grieveson had an ERA of 7.59 in the regular season over 10 2/3 innings pitched.
Remember how this inning started, partner?
Nope.
The man on deck, Justin Mara.
That was this inning? Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're right. Does feel like a while ago.
I know,
Pitching.
you ran down the hill, ran back up the hill, had some water, caught your breath.
Oh, Knecht got a pitch he could handle and fouls it off. Last time Brad Grieveson played against the Toronto Maple Leafs was part of a 20-4 victory for the Barrie Baycats. He worked a scoreless inning. Knecht pops this one up. And this one is caught right on the fence by Adam Odd. Great play to stick with it as that ball was coming down flush with the fence. His glove was touching the fence, and he still made the catch.
Yeah, you can see him. He stuck his arm out towards the fence to make sure where he wasn't running into it. Then he makes a great catch right there just to kind of, you know, not one, run into the fence, but two, just your awareness of where you're going.
Well, last time the Toronto Maple Leafs got a earned run off of Brad Grieveson, you got to go all the way back to the Baycats' first game of the season back on May 15th. Well, Justin Mara, as you so astutely pointed out, Zach, homered to start off the inning.
Well, he's hit two baseballs a combined speed of 224 miles an hour, it feels like, so.
Sure.
112 both times.
Hits this one hard as well, and it skips into the outfield. And they're going to send the runner home as well. Tyler Plumpton can't make the catch. Javier scores. That's 11-3, and both runners move up. And now the Barrie Baycats starting to throw the ball around a little bit in this inning.
Yeah, that again, a hard hit ball off the lip of the dirt here at Christie Pitts. These Maple Leafs, they know that better than anybody. It's gonna bounce up like that. We saw it with Marcus Knecht earlier in the game. We see it right here again.
So Dennis DeBanning comes to the plate again. DeBanning struck out earlier in the inning. Interesting to see what direction the Maple Leafs go pitching-wise to finish out this game. The next time these two teams will play each other in a couple of days' time on Sunday in Barrie, then back here in Toronto on Tuesday, if necessary. Here's the 1-1. Manning takes inside. 6 runs in the 6th for Toronto, and they've still got ducks on the pond. The 2-1. 2-2 now as Banning takes a perfect pitch on the outside corner. Two now. Way outside, and it runs full. Brad Grieveson now 17 pitches into this relief appearance that started with 1 out in the 6th.
Very patient at the plate here is DeBanning. He had a single earlier on in the ball game, but that's really all he's been able to do here. So he's just trying to work a good at-bat.
The 3-2. DeBanning fouls off a tough pitch.
Again, he gets that bat head through the zone so quickly. You get that front foot down fast, and he's just all hands and hips. And DeBanning, he can swing the bat.
Grieveson sets up for another 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. And the 6th inning will end as Dennis DeBanning goes down looking, but the Toronto Maple Leafs end up scoring 6 runs in the 6th inning, and the Leafs, who got swept by the Barrie Baycats last year in the first round of the playoffs, can start to taste a playoff win here at Christie Pitts against Barrie. We head to the 7th when we come back. Well, back here at Dominico Field, there you can see Matt Brown's dad wearing the University of South Florida Matt Brown shirt, getting a couple photos there of his son who
He's getting all the angles.
taking the mound.
He walked down across behind the dugout, got a couple shots from the side, and said, you know what? Let me get in the action right behind home plate, but ask the fans if I'm obstructing their view.
Yeah.
Mr. Brown doing it all. He also started the slow clap earlier in the game when Franklin Hernandez had 2 strikes on a batter.
Yeah.
Team guy right there. Team guy.
Noted Maple Leaf fan.
Oh, yeah. Hey, every team needs a vibe guy. Might not be somebody on the team. Could be a fan.
Well, Matt Brown is one of the big arms that the Maple Leafs have in the bullpen. You know, a hefty lead for the Maple Leafs here, but they do have a day off, so, you know, I don't know what the plan is exactly here. Matt Brown absolutely has the ability to go multiple innings in this ball game, but you know, maybe kind of just get him through the 7th here and see what happens after that as he misses inside to Tyler Plumpton.
Wouldn't surprise me to see, you know, him possibly get 2 innings and have somebody else close it in, because like you said, you have that day of rest, but why not get some arms activated? You want to make sure you win this ball game because you don't want to go down 0-2 in the series.
Tapper up the first baseline. That one rolls into foul territory. Picked up there by Justin Mara. Matt Brown had an ERA of 4.50 for the Maple Leafs. Appeared in 9 games, 22 innings for the Maple Leafs this season. 3 of them were starts. As finished off the regular season with a couple scoreless outings. One an inning and 2/3 against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, one an inning against the Brantford Red Sox. That was part of that wild 14-13 win for the Maple Leafs on the final day of the Maple Leafs regular season. The 1-2 to Plumpton. Oh, and it hit him in the hand. And that one might have got him right in the finger, and Tyler Plumpton is in some pain as he walks towards the third baseline. Oh. And Matt Brown tried to jam him a couple times up and in.
It might have hit him off the wrist.
Not a good sign for the Baycats. Tyler Plumpton, their steadfast catcher behind the plate. Hopefully he can stay in this ball game. You can see their trainer kind of saying open and close your hand, and Tyler Plumpton looks like he just successfully did that, so that's a good sign, yeah.
Yeah, again, in the wrist, there's just so many bones there, and not a lot of muscle, not a lot of just meat on your arm, and when it hits there, you're just hitting pure bone, and it hurts. But Plumpton, you know, strong lad, he's going to stay in this ball game.
He's moving it around. Well, he's passed the test enough to head down to first base and run. That's how the 7th inning starts for the Baycats. They need runs, trailing 11-3. Matt Brown misses down and in. The 1-0. Fouled straight back by Odd. Adam Odd, like Spencer Ross, a former University of Toronto varsity Blues. Started his IBL career back with the Burlington Bandits back in 2015. Swings and misses at that pitch upstairs from Matt Brown, and the count's 1-2.
Matt Brown has some explosive stuff out of the bullpen. You know, it just kind of comes down to just the command and able to control his stuff.
The 1-2. Fouled off by Odd. Good battle.
I don't know what that hit, but it made a loud thud and landed beside us. I hope you know, partner, if a ball comes up this way, I'm just ducking.
1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Matt Brown gets the punch out of Adam Odd. I don't know why you would be ducking out of the way. You play baseball. You're a first baseman.
I'm not good.
Yeah.
I might play, but I'm not good.
You're men's league good, though.
No, not really. Can't even throw right now.
Top of the order, Noel McGarry Doyle cuts through that first Matt Brown pitch. Brown, a big imposing presence out there on the mound. 6'4", 240 pounds. This one lined into the outfield. McGarry Doyle has himself a knock. It skips away from Boscarino, but he sticks with it and holds the runners at first and second.
Loud contact off the bat there of Noel McGarry Doyle.
Well, if you're going to mount a comeback, this is the part of the order to do it. Brandon Hernandez, Francisco Hernandez, Nolan Macabrota. 3 great RBI guys coming up. One fouled off. Down and in there on Brandon Hernandez.
And you see immediately Matt Brown, he threw that ball and he said, I need another one. I'm not getting a good grip. And he immediately knew it with his, it looked like his index finger was saying, just not getting a good grip on the ball.
A couple other games happening in the IBL right now. The Jackfish up 6-2 on the Kitchener Panthers. Guelph leading London in their first game of the series, 7-0. Guelph Royals. It's on a panel of some of the other broadcasters in the Intercounty Baseball League on the IBL inside pitch, and everyone predicted the lower seed, the Guelph Royals, to come away with that series, and they're making a statement in Game 1. Pitch at the top of the zone, and the count's now 2-2.
That is still such a cool camera shot.
Yeah, Zach's there talking about the Chatham-Kent Barnstormer and Hamilton Cardinal game, which is tied 6-6 right now in the 6th.
I've tried to convince Mr. West to get a drone for next year.
The 2-2.
Hasn't worked out.
Full count on Hernandez. Brown's pitch. Fouled back. Matt Brown went right at him with the fastball, and Hernandez was right on it.
Usually you hear, the chirps coming from the left side where the Bushmen. I'm hearing them from the right side right now. Everybody's getting in on it.
Bushmen are role models here at Christie Pitts. They do such a great job heckling the players in a clean manner, and they heckle so much, but they still find a way to make friends with some of the players on the opposing team. I've made quite good friends with Ryan Rio on the side of the Barrie Baycats. The 3-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. Oh, it's foul tipped. Excuse me, at home plate. But
I think my favorite one that I've heard here tonight, I think it was either Brandon Hernandez or Adam Odd, where he swung the bat and it was a swinging strike 1, and someone just yelled, "Hey, swing earlier."
3-2, fouled off again. Yeah, but they're so inspiring down the left field line there with their chirps that lots of the other fans who are just Maple Leafs fans will come up and join them, and they get into the action.
Why not?
They set the tone at Christie Pitts. I think that's the
trendsetters.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have got the award.
Another 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. No doubt this time Matt Brown gets the punch out.
Matt Brown just has such a heavy fastball. And what I mean by that is just when he gets downhill, it is just zipping and popping out of his hand. It is hard to catch up. And, that at-bat there, it just looked like he wanted to beat Hernandez with a fastball. It didn't matter what he was going to do. He wanted to beat him with a fastball.
Well, both outs Matt Brown has recorded have been hard-worked strikeouts. By no means has he been efficient in this game so far. That was pitch number 22 that he just threw, but he's pounding the strike zone. 16 strikes, just 6 balls. The 0-1 to Francisco. On the ground, Dan Mara has it at second base, gets it on the nice high hop and flips over to Jordan Castaldo. That will end the inning, a scoreless frame. Worked by Matt Brown in the 7th. To the bottom half we go. It's the Maple Leafs who lead 11-3. Back here at Dominico Field, a couple substitutions to make note of. Andrew Johnston is now into the game at catcher. He takes over for Tyler Plumpton. So that probably in response to Plumpton getting hit on the wrist by a Matt Brown fastball. I don't know if it's precautionary. Hopefully for the Barrie Baycats side of things it is. So Johnston into the game to do the catching. And Adam Kahn is into the game. He's the new pitcher for the Baycats.
Yeah, and it's probably like you mentioned, just a precautionary thing at this point. You know, it's 11-3. They don't want Plumpton to risk any more injury, so just kind of get him out of the game, let him rest it up, get some ice on it.
First pitch from Kahn to Spencer Ross, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. Spencer Ross 0 for 2 today, but he's walked and scored. And that's strike 2. Ross steps out, calls time in the box.
Maple Leafs just a massive 6th inning. Really just what the offense just woke up, it feels like.
Yeah, I was talking to some of the veteran players on the Maple Leafs, and they're kind of thinking, yes, there was a lot of disappointment about the way the game ended last night. And I mean, if the Maple Leafs ended up winning that game and, we were where we were right now, that would be upset alert. But the 0-2 from Kahn in the dirt. But the Maple Leafs, they stuck with it. They didn't let that get to them and played a good ball game today. But the sentiment by some of the veteran players on the Maple Leafs was like, look, we lost the game, but we didn't hit. They felt like they could have been a lot better, even though it was Frank Garces. And they said, well, it can't get any worse. And they were right. It was a lot better today. Ross chops one on the ground to third. That is a fair ball. Throw to first in time. But it was foul at third, so it doesn't matter.
I got you, buddy. I'm watching the umpire at home.
So Ross will have to walk back to home
Let him
plate.
catch his breath.
Yeah.
You mentioned the game one, and really one mistake by the Maple Leafs. And this is a different story we're talking about. We're talking about, Leafs possibly going up 2-0 in the series. We talk about the 7 seed against the 2 seed and how kind of crazy it is. But right now, I think it's just been the Maple Leafs are showing, this is a veteran team. This is a team that's won before. This is a team that's been far and deep in playoffs before. They understand what to do.
Kahn gets the punch out of Spencer Ross as he swings over top of the breaking ball. And that's the first out of the 7th.
It's not him, but it's still a great song.
Which one was that?
Huh?
Which song?
That
was the...
They started playing Luca Boscarino's walk-up song.
Oh.
For Dan Mara.
Sure.
I said, that's not him, but still a great song.
That pitch just missed to Mara, ball 1. What a swing Dan Mara had in his last at-bat. A 2-run home run, a line shot over the wall and left. Dan Mara said he's never come up to an at-bat in the Intercounty Baseball League trying to hit a home run. What he is trying to do is just put a good swing on the baseball every single time, and they go sometimes. This time he chops it on the ground to first. Hull has it go off his shoulder. Now he flips to Kahn just in time. Couple good defensive plays by Barrie Baycats in this game. Luca Boscarino, who also homered earlier in the game. Boscarino, that was his first home run of the year. Did homer, not his first IBL home run, because he homered back in his first stint with the Toronto Maple Leafs. It was back in the 2022 season.
That was a big moment in the ball game because it gave the Maple Leafs a little bit of life. You know, they just got a run in. It was a one-run game. And then Boscarino comes up and just smokes a homer over the left field wall. And then they two-out rally. Dos Santos scores later. And that's what really pushed them towards this lead.
You could kind of tell that big swing was coming from Luca Boscarino. He never really broke out and had any real big games in the regular season, but he certainly hit some balls hard. And then you look at last night. Rips a ball down the line early in the ball game, just misses a double. And, I don't mean it was like a bouncer down the line. He had a line drive that, he probably deserved to have a double on just by how well he hit the baseball. Then he had the infield single, and, he didn't have a lot offensively in the first game, but you could tell he's putting good swings on the ball, and then the product of all of it. And his last at-bat hitting the home run to left.
I guess you could say it was his trendsetter that has helped him.
Yeah, Dennis has hit a lot of home runs this season as well. What a second half he had. Two-two to Bosco. And he hits it on the ground to second. Francisco Hernandez has it, throws to first, and that'll end the inning. A 1-2-3 frame worked by Adam Kahn, but it's the Maple Leafs who still lead big here in Toronto. Well, the plan for the Maple Leafs was to go with Matt Brown today, and they are sticking with him here in the 8th inning. Nolan Macabrota to lead things off, and takes a huge hack at the first pitch, but comes up empty. Count 1-1 as Matt Brown misses outside. Well, what a regular season the Saskatoon, Saskatchewan native Nolan Macabrota had over the regular season campaign. 37 runs driven in. The 2-2. Slash to left. Boscarino dives and he got it! Luca Boscarino with an unbelievable diving catch. Or sorry, that is Ben Sidorenios who's come into this game. Welcome to the ball game, Ben Sidorenios. That's a great way to start your night.
I am stunned. What defensive efforts are we seeing tonight?
Yeah, so Ben Sidorenios is into the game now.
Hey, oh, thanks. Thanks, man.
So that's the first defensive substitution. Zach Lamprey has also come into the replace Dan Mara. He's at second base.
What a catch. We're not going to talk about that. What a catch.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny. John Javier was talking about how hard it is to be a DH and, just be sitting on the bench for so long and then come in and have to take at-bats. There's a swing and a miss, and the count's now 2-2. Like, for Ben Sidorenios, he had to sit on the bench the entire game, long game, adrenaline pumping, and then he comes into the game, the first ball that gets hit to him lays out and makes a diving catch. I mean, you don't really get much warm-up when you come in as a defensive replacement.
You warm up by running out there, do a couple leg stretches, and then toss the ball around. That's about it, though. You don't really get a full, every inning kind of thing where you're able to just get loose.
Clark pops this one up foul behind home plate. Still 2-2 on Tristan Clark. And he swings and misses, strike 3. Another punch out for Matt Brown. Noah Hull comes to the plate. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. Brown's first pitch. One just misses inside. 3 strikeouts for Matt Brown over an inning and 2/3. This might be 2 innings now as Spencer Ross goes out, makes the catch. 1, 2, 3 inning for Matt Brown. Oh, he was brilliant in the 2 innings of work so far for the Maple Leafs. 2 innings, just the 1 hit, 3 punch-outs. And it's the Leafs who continue to lead as we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning.
Showing up to this guy's game, hit a bomb.
Bro. First pitch bomb. I told you.
Go Leafs, go, eh,
That's
bud?
fire, bro.
Look at
Damn,
that
bro. I
shit.
hit
Hey,
out.
turn around. Let's go. No big deal.
Bro, you
What's
want
the
the
score?
84 jersey,
Score
bro?
two-
Yeah, I'll bring it.
The man.
So that was Max Domi's Instagram story, who appears to be a big Luca Boscarino fan. That was kind of fun to see.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I love that.
How about that? You get the NHL player watching.
Hey, who would have thought Max Domi would be a big fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs? Hey?
That's great. Yeah. Well,
Who would have thought?
yeah, if you were to pick a team in the IBL, it might be the Leafs. So, Kahn back on the mound. It worked a clean 1-2-3 inning in the 7th. There's the 0-1 to Dos Santos, the leadoff hitter. Outside 1-1. Ryan Dos Santos has had a wild night at the plate. 1 for 1, 3 walks, and has scored 4 times. Now he takes a strike, painted on the outside corner by Kahn.
Average on the night 1,000, but the on-base percentage is way higher.
Kahn's 1-2 in the dirt, 2-2 now. Dos Santos just refuses to swing at pitches out of the strike zone. Adam Kahn, the Aurora, Ontario native, had an ERA of 5.22 in the regular season for the Barrie Baycats. Did not play in the playoffs last year for Barrie, so this is his first playoff appearance as a member of the Baycats. 2-2, foul tipped. Off the glove of Johnston.
Somehow staying alive. And it looks like we're going to have a different batter coming up on deck. And John Javier, his red-hot night is going to be over. Mike Chiquetto looks like he's going to be taking his at-bat.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Kahn with the punch out of Dos Santos. So Javier finishes the day 4 for 4. He was brilliant. 4 for 4, 3 RBIs, scored twice. He's hitting .625 in the playoffs after his RBI double last night in Barrie. And now Mike Chiquetto, who had a monster postseason, although it be a short one against the Barrie Baycats last year, comes to the plate now and tries to pick off where he left off last postseason. And, whoa, he nearly did. So that's kind of what he was doing. That's what I was going to get to. He torches one foul off to the left. Had 2 home runs, including a grand slam in that series against the Baycats. That was last season. This season started out hot, battled an injury through the middle half of the season. And the Maple Leafs would love to see him get hot once again right around playoff time. And he did have hits in each of his last 2 games against the Brantford Red Sox. 2 for 4, 1 for 4, had 3 RBIs in that one game against Brantford as well. So he did finish out the regular season strong. But can they get the Mike Chiquetto that we saw in the playoffs last year? The 1-1. Chiquetto hits it hard down the line and foul ball. Oh, that was definitely a fair ball. That was way inside the chalk line. Yeah. Rob Butler just said, "Darn it, man." That was.
He said, "Really?" Word for word. Word for word.
Yeah, that was. Maybe it won't have much of an impact on this game just with the score the way it is, but that reaction from Rob Butler tells you how much he wants Mike Chiquetto to
said, "Dang, man,
get some hits here in the playoffs." He knows that Chiquetto can be such an impact player, whether in the starting lineup or off the bench for the Maple Leafs. Instead, he grounds one to second base, and Hernandez able to throw, although Hull had to stretch to get it, but he does, and Kahn has recorded the first 2 here in the 8th. Another good night at the plate for Jordan Castaldo. 1 for 2, driven in a couple runs. Just continues to be the perennial RBI guy that you want to have hitting in that number 3 spot in the lineup every season for the Maple Leafs. He'll be followed by Marcus Knecht if it gets that far.
You might just call. Sorry, partner. That kind of scared me a little bit.
This one's tapped on the ground to first, and it skips off the glove of Hall. Was going to be a wild play to try and flip that one over to Kahn. We'll see what they end up scoring at. Either way, Castaldo reaches first base.
What I was going to say is, you can call Jordan Castaldo. You can say he's like wine because, as he ages, he just gets finer and finer in his baseball skills.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, obviously, the one season that stands out the most is the Triple Crown year in 2019, his last season with the Barrie Baycats. A year where they ended up winning the championship as well, part of a string of 6 consecutive that he won with Barrie. But like he just keeps hitting 300. It's ridiculous. And just a scoring note, by the way, that was a base hit for Jordan Castaldo. That's what they scored as.
Yeah, so and he's never
2 for 3.
Yeah, he's never an easy out. That's the thing. He's always going to make pitchers battle, and he's never an easy out.
The 0-1. Knecht swings and misses. It's funny, like, Jordan Castaldo has the simplest plate approach out of anyone. We were talking earlier in the game how he just thinks of it as a battle between, pitcher and hitter, and he just tries to win the battle. And he sticks to that no matter what the situation is. Runners in scoring position, nobody on base. It's the same every single time. And you'd have to think that kind of consistency is the reason why Jordan Castaldo has had so much success in every situation in the IBL. He's just got that formula worked out.
No doubt in my mind, partner.
Well, this guy Marcus Knecht had a fantastic regular season for the Maple Leafs as well. Hit .358. The 0-2. Whew. Kahn just missed. I mean, you think about what this season meant for Marcus Knecht. He had a monster year back in 2022. It helped the Maple Leafs to the Intercounty Baseball League Finals. Then he came back after a year off and didn't have a great season. Hit .266, and now he lines one into the outfield. That's a base hit. Marcus Knecht finds some grass. He has 2 hits today. But just to finish that point, hit .266 last season, then came back this year, and it kind of felt like, oh man, like, is Marcus Knecht starting to, fall off a little bit in terms of his production? Not the case. Had one of his best seasons in the IBL, thus far, with that great batting average, 8 home runs, 24 RBIs, and, through all that, battled an injury through the regular season as well.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see, obviously, next season what's going to happen with some of these veteran guys. Are they going to come back for another year? Are they going to hang them up? But I mean, like, they're playing such good baseball. And it feels year in and year out, Jordan Castaldo has just gotten better. Marcus Knecht, from only the years I've been here to call games for the Maple Leafs, he's gotten better every single year. Justin Mara continues to give you the best production you can from a catcher position.
The 1-0, big swing and a miss there from Justin Mara.
And then you look at a guy like Dan Mara as well, it's hard to say, he should hang him up because he puts up 300 seasons.
Yeah.
Consummate professional, great defensively.
Mara might be chasing that feeling a little bit here as he swings and misses through 2 pitches that were low in the dirt. That feeling was the ball that he hit off of Chris Nagorski earlier in the game. Just absolutely demolished a baseball out of the yard to right. The 1-2 to Justin. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Kahn got him with the low breaking ball, and that will end the 8th inning. The Toronto Maple Leafs strand a couple runners, but the Barrie Baycats are down to their final 3 outs. We'll have that for you when we come back in the 9th. So look here at the playoff format in the Intercounty Baseball League. All the series underway after London and Guelph got their series started with game 1 tonight. This is going to be a best of 5 series and then a best of 7 once we get to the championship series. But the first 2 are just going to be best of 5s. And the big thing, reseeding after each round. So if the Toronto Maple Leafs were able to, pull up a big upset off the Barrie Baycats, that could really juggle things around. No one's going to know who they're playing in the next round. So interesting to see how it all works out, and a lot of really fun series around the Intercounty Baseball League that are tough to predict.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. And I think, the Maple Leafs, a game like this gives them a lot of confidence going forward. A lot of the guys I'm sure are happy there's a little bit of a rest day to get, re-energized.
Taylor Lepard into the game for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and this ball hit on the ground to second. Zach Lampreia makes the play. That's the first out. Taylor Lepard last pitched for the Maple Leafs on July 4th, and believe it or not, it was against the Barrie Baycats. He worked a scoreless frame. Now Andrew Johnston, who came into the game as a defensive replacement for Tyler Plumpton, is going to get an at-bat. Wishing all the best to Tyler Plumpton. If you missed it, he got hit on the wrist or the hand, something like that earlier in the game. He was able to stay in the game and run at first base as a check swing, and Johnston went around, so that's a strike for Taylor Lepard. But, wishing the best for him. He's a big player for the Barrie Baycats.
Yeah, obviously you never want to see anybody go down with injury. It doesn't matter what team they play for. So hoping for a speedy recovery there for Plumpton. Again, it's always just so awkward. You get hit on the wrist there or on the hand. There's no meat. It's just all bone, and it just hurts a lot more.
1-2 now on Johnston. Lepard got him swinging. Second out of the inning for Taylor Lepard. He's been efficient, and he dominated that at bat there against Andrew Johnston.
Yeah, he wasted no time whatsoever. The off-speed looked beautiful there out of the hand of Lepard, and then the fastball just completely blew him away.
Yeah, so Taylor Lepard, who hasn't pitched in a while for the Toronto Maple Leafs, enters into the fray here in the playoffs, and he's one of those arms that could really be the difference maker for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the series.
Well, I mean, you have 3 pretty solid starters when you look at it. Franklin Hernandez, Wilhennis Alvarado, Josh Barenbaum, 3 guys that are really, really good in the front of the bullpen. And you have 2 guys in the back end. Obviously Luis Florentino had a little bit of a struggle in game 1, but he's still a really good arm.
The 0-1, line drive into the outfield. Knecht is going to play this one on a hop. And that's a single for Adam Odd. Yeah, I mean, Luis Florentino last night, I think you can chalk that one up to, something other than the pitching that Luis Florentino was doing on the mound. He definitely was starting to feel a little bit of fatigue as he got later into that outing. We've seen that from Florentino. He's a 2-inning guy, but only a 2-inning guy if he's efficient. And had to throw quite a few pitches in that outing. Swing and a miss by Noel McGarry-Doyle as things turn over to the top of the order for Taylor Lepard.
It'll be really interesting to see what the game plan is on Sunday, who you're going to start. I mean, we all kind of assume it's going to be Josh Barenbaum. But, question of what arms are available, who are you going to go with there? Because that game number 3, that is a huge swing game in this series.
Yeah, good to see Taylor Lepard back on the mound for the Maple Leafs. This is a big arm. This kind of changes things in this series if Taylor Lepard can, come out and be dominant like people in Toronto know he can. Here's the 0-2. Slow tapper. Lepard plays it himself. Flips to Castaldo, who has to reach out and make the play, and he made a good one. So that'll end the ball game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They win game 2 at home against the Barrie Baycats by a score of 11-3. And Zach, talk about a bounce back game for the Maple Leafs tonight.
This is exactly the kind of performance you wanted to see out of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, last night was a back-breaking game. You had the lead into the ninth. You played a great game. One mistake is what cost you the game. A lot of teams could have come into today feeling down, feeling like they got cheated out of a win there. They came, they played a great game. They played hard. They showed heart and grit. Pitching was phenomenal. Defense was great. And the bats, they woke up.
Yeah, the bats were great, but the defense was really good too. That was certainly a point of contention for the Toronto Maple Leafs. You know, when I talked to Marcus Knecht before the game, he called it a blessing that they got such a quick turnaround and they got to try and right the wrong that they, you know, felt like they should have got done last night. And boy, was it ever. The Toronto Maple Leafs offense blessed with 11 runs to take down the Barrie Baycats, and we've got a series here between the 2 seed and the 7 seed in the Intercounty Baseball League. The Toronto Maple Leafs come away with the win in Game 2.